afternoon, students. In previous lecture, we discussed about convolution and we solved some problems on convolution. Now, today we will discuss about properties of convolution. First property is commutative property. It states that first property is commutative property. It states that convolution is commutative operation. That means x of n convolution h of n is equal to h of n convolution x of n. Y of n is equal to x of n convolution h of n is equal to summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of k h of n minus k. This is given according to the definition of convolution. If we substitute n minus k by m, so m is equal to n minus k and k is equal to n minus m. When m is equal to n minus k and value of k is n minus infinity, in this case value of m is plus infinity, and when value of k is plus infinity, value of m is minus infinity. So here we substitute the value of k is n minus m, so x of k is replaced by x of n minus m and h of n minus k is replaced by h of m, and this limit is replaced by m is plus infinity to minus infinity, and we can change this in limit very easily. And since m is dummy variable, so m can be replaced by any other variable k or something else, and in this formula we take or we replace m by k. So y of n is written as k is minus infinity to plus infinity x of n minus k. This m is replaced by k and multiplied by h of k, and this is multiplication. Multiplication is commutative, so we can write h of k x of n minus k, and this expression is written as h of n convolution x of n. So convolution is commutative. X of n convolution h of n is equal to h of n convolution x of n. And graphical representation, suppose this is LTI system, linear time invariable system, and h of n is impulse response, x of n is input signal. So y of n is written as x of n convolution h of n, and this system is equivalent to this system if h of n, in this case h of n is input and x of n is response of this LTI system. So in this case y of n is equal to h of n convolution x of n. So we can say that convolution is commutative property or commutative form and convolution. Next is associative property. Associative property. This is not pushing to the associative property. Prove that x of t convolution h1 of t convolution h2 of t is equal to. हेलो, मेरी आवाज क्लियर है? तुम लोग को आ रही है? कर्नल, mean
It's clear.
in this question, let us suppose that x of t convolution h1 of t is equal to f1t and h1t convolution h2t is equal to f2 of t. First, write this equation. F1t is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinity x tau, because this t is replaced by k or tau, x of tau multiplied by h1 t minus tau d tau, according to the definition of convolution. Then, since this is f1t, f1t convolution h2t, and this convolution is written as integration minus infinity to plus infinity f1 lambda h2 t minus lambda d lambda, same as in this case. In this case, this is replaced by tau and h1t h1t is replaced by h1t minus tau. Similarly, in this convolution, f1t is replaced by f1 lambda and h2t is replaced by h2 t minus lambda d lambda. Then in this equation, we substitute the value of f1 lambda. Since f1t is equal to x tau h1 t minus tau, if we replace this t by lambda, then this t is also replaced by lambda. So here, if we substitute the value of f1t, x tau h1, this t is replaced by lambda, lambda minus tau d tau, and h2 t minus lambda d lambda. Then we substitute lambda minus tau is equal to rho, and interchanging the order of integration, we have integration minus infinity to plus infinity x tau, then integration minus infinity to plus infinity h1 rho, lambda minus tau is replaced by rho, so h1 rho h2 t minus this lambda is equal to tau plus rho plus tau, and this lambda is replaced by rho plus tau, and so h2 is h2 t minus lambda minus rho d tau. Now since f2t 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 is h1 t convolution h2t, so f2t is written as integration minus infinity to plus infinity h1 rho h2 t minus rho d rho. And if f2t is written by this, then f2 t minus tau is written by integration minus infinity to plus infinity h1 rho h2 t minus tau minus rho. Means this t is here, this t is replaced by t minus tau. So in this expression, t is replaced by t minus tau. So we get this. And in this, so we can replace this expression by f2 t minus tau. So we get integration minus infinity to plus infinity x tau, and this is replaced by f2 t minus tau, f2 t minus tau d tau. So this can be written as x1 convolution f2t, and this is written by. So associative property is true in this example. Next is a statement that LTI system is stable. LTI system is stable if its impulse response is absolutely summable. Means any LTI system is stable if its impulse response is absolutely summable. In previous lecture, we have already discussed about stability of LTI system, but that stability is BIBO stable if input is finite. If we get out finite output for finite input, then system is stable. But in this LTI system, we determine the stability by its impulse response. If we know the impulse response, we can also determine the stability of system. Consider that LTI system having an impulse response Hn and Xn is the input. Then we can write y of n is equal to summation minus infinity to plus infinity x of k h n minus a. And this is the multiplication, or you can say that convolution is commutative. We can write this summation minus infinity to plus infinity x of k h of k multiplied by x of n minus k. If we apply bounded input x of n, if x of n is bounded, means its magnitude is finite. It means that this magnitude is less than or equal to mx, where mx is less than infinite. It means that mx is any finite value. So magnitude of input is finite. Clear? Then we take the absolute mod of yn. If mod of yn is mod of yn is written by this, and it is less than or equal to summation mod of x of k h of k multiplied mod of x of n minus k. And we can write this expression, since x of n, mod of x of n is less than mx, means mod of or magnitude of x of n is finite, then its shifted version, magnitude of shifted version is also finite. So we can replace this x of n, mod of x of n by mx, and mod of yn is written by this expression. अब यहाँ पे क्या है, if we get the magnitude of this output, if we get finite magnitude of output, then the system is stable, because we apply finite input, and if we get finite output, then system is stable. Mx is finite, and if this is finite, then value of value of or magnitude of yn is also finite. So we can say then when summation of x of k is finite, then system is stable, and h of K is impulse response of system. So if impulse response of system is absolutely summable, then system is stable. Then causality of LTI system. A system is causal if output of system depends upon present and past input, not on the future input. Any system is any system is causal if output depends only upon present and past input. And in terms of impulse response, a system is causal if and only if h of n is 0 or n is less than 0. Proof of this statement: y of n is written by x of minus infinity to plus infinity x of k multiplied by h of n minus k. And since this is commutative property, we can write summation h of k multiplied x of n minus k. ठीक है, दोनों प्रॉपर्टी में मीन्स स्टेबिलिटी प्रूव करने में और कॉजलिटी प्रूव करने में यहाँ पे तुम्हें जो है कम्यूटेटिव प्रॉपर्टी यूज करनी पड़ेगी. Then this expression can be written in this form: when k is 0 to infinity, h of k multiplied by x of n minus k plus summation k is from minus infinity to minus 1 x of k h n minus k. क्लियर. अब इसको जो है एक्सपेंड कर दिया, यहाँ पे k की वैल्यू 0 पुट की तो h of 0, यहाँ पे k की वैल्यू 0 की तो h of n, फिर k की वैल्यू 1 h of 1 x of 1 minus k. Similarly, when value of k is 2, h of 2 x of 2 minus k and so on. In this expression, substitute the value of k is minus 1, then we get h of minus 1 x of n plus 1 and so on. X of n is present input, this is present input, this is past input, this is past input, and these are this and these are future input. अगर इस एक्सप्रेशन इस टोटल एक्सप्रेशन में इन वैल्यूज को 0 कर दें, इन फ्यूचर इनपुट को 0 कर दें, देन सिस्टम इज स्टेबल. But in we are not interested in input. If we take simply h of minus 1, h of minus 1, h of minus 2 and h of minus 3, if we put all these values equal to 0, then this term, all these terms becomes 0 and we get a stable system, causal system. So we can say that h of n is 0 when n is less than 0. यहाँ पे क्या है, वैल्यू है n की -1, -2, -3, means when a value of n is less than 0, and in that case if h of n is 0, then system is causal. प्रूव करने के लिए क्या किया है तुमने, सिंपली y of n की कन्वोल्यूशन किया और इसमें कम्यूटेटिव प्रॉपर्टी लगाई, फिर इन दोनों को समेशन को जो है एक्सपेंड कर दिया और इसमें इनपुट को जीरो नहीं करना है, केवल इम्पल्स रिस्पॉन्स को जो है वो 0 कर दो. अगर इन इम्पल्स रिस्पॉन्स को 0 कर दिया तो हमारा जो है ये सिस्टम कॉजल है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ये दिस इज प्रेजेंट इनपुट पास एंड तो सिस्टम इज कॉजल इफ h of n is 0 for n is less than 0. Similarly, memoryless or static or with memory dynamic for LTI system. A system is memoryless or a system is static if its output depends only on present input. So we can say that if n is not equal to 0, h of n is 0, then system is static. And in dynamic system, output depends upon present input, past input and future input. It means that when n is not equal to 0, h of n is not equal to 0, then system is dynamic. Step response. अब step response में के लिए क्या फॉर्मूला होगा इसमें देखना है. Y of n step response means if suppose that this is a system and you apply an unit step or step input, then what will be the output of this LTI system or given step input. We know that for LTI system, output is given by convolution of input and impulse response, and y of n is given by summation minus infinity to plus infinity x of k, h of n minus k, or it is equal to h of k multiplied by x of n minus k. If x of n means input is unit step, this unit step is 1 when n is equal to or greater than 0. So this x of n minus k is 1 when n minus k is equal to or greater than 0, or n is greater than or equal to 0, or we can say that when k is less than or equal to n. So we get the higher limit of this summation. Lower limit of summation is minus infinity and higher limit of this summation is n because k is less than n. So in this equation y of n is summation k is minus infinity to n h of k, and value of x of n minus k is 1. So we can say that this is the step response of any LTI system. And in this limit is from minus infinity to n. This is the step response of discrete time system. Determine the range of value of parameter A for which LTI system with impulse response h of n is equal to a raised to power n when n is greater than 0 and n is even, and h of n is 0, otherwise is stable. This impulse for this impulse response, system is stable and you have to determine the value of A. We know that LTI system is stable when impulse response is absolutely summable. Means summation of impulse response is finite. So here you can find out the summation of h of k. Substitute the value of h of k, which is equal to a raised to power n, and since h of n is a raised to power n when value of n is equal to or greater than 0, this limit changes from n is equal to 0 and n is even, and higher limit is infinite. So we substitute the value of n is equal to p, where n is equal to 2p, where the value of p is 1, 2, 3, and if we solve this expression, we get a geometrical series, and sum of geometrical series is given by 1 by 1 minus a, when magnitude of a is less than 1. So this is a stable system and magnitude of a is less than 1. Next is Fourier frequency domain analysis. Frequency domain analysis. Before discussing frequency domain analysis, first we discuss what is the need of frequency domain analysis. For analyzing any system, some parameters are evaluated, such as amplitude, frequency content, power and energy density, and periodicity. The time domain representation gives the following information about any signal, about the shape of signal or about its frequency. It gives the information of the type of the system, means system type of the signal, means signal is periodic or non-periodic, and it also gives the information about period. But we can't know anything about its frequency component, means at what proportion and which frequency component is present in the signal, we can't determine by time domain analysis. So when we do frequency analysis, then we can get all the information about the frequency content. Means, say- or we can say that the main aim of performing frequency analysis is to provide all the mathematical representation of frequency component contained in any given signal. There are important techniques to do frequency analysis is frequency representation of signal, and these are two distinct frequency or Fourier representation. First is Fourier series, next is Fourier transform, discrete time Fourier series and discrete time Fourier transform. Fourier series, this is for continuous time periodic signal. Fourier series is only for continuous time periodic signal. Fourier transform is for continuous time non-periodic signal. Discrete time Fourier series for discrete time periodic signal, and discrete time Fourier transform is for discrete time non-periodic signal. So in frequency domain analysis, we can say that any signal is built of elementary signal which are at different frequencies, have different amplitude and relative phases. Using Fourier analysis, we can plot amplitude and phase spectrum, which provide us all the information about amplitude and relative phases of different frequencies of elementary signals. First, we discuss Fourier series. Type of Fourier series. There are three types of Fourier series: trigonometric Fourier series, exponential Fourier series, and polar Fourier series. We generally discuss about these two Fourier series: trigonometric Fourier series and exponential Fourier series. Trigonometric Fourier series, any periodic signal x or t with a period t naught is represented by this series, or any periodic signal can be represented by its Fourier series. Non-periodic signals cannot be represented by Fourier series. And x of t is equal to a naught plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinite a n cos n omega naught t plus summation n is equal to 1 infinite b n sin n omega naught t. and here x of t is periodic series, where a naught, a n and b n are known as Fourier coefficient. Value of Fourier coefficient is given by 1 by t naught integration 0 to t x of t dt. an, value of an is given by 2 by t naught integration 0 to t naught x of t cos n omega naught t dt. Similarly, value of bn is given by this expression. Exponential Fourier series is given by this. Any periodic signal is given by exponential Fourier series. Summation n is from minus infinity to plus infinity Cn exponential j 2 pi n t by capital T. It means that exponential j omega t. And this is Fourier coefficient. The Fourier coefficient is given by 1 by t integration 0 to t x of t exponential minus. यहाँ प्लस है. Fourier series में here plus sign and in this case negative sign. Exponential minus j omega j 2 pi n t by t dt, or you can say that exponential minus j omega t, because 2 pi n by t is omega. And polar series, in polar Fourier series, x of t is given by this formula. So x of t is written by this formula, and this is DC part, this is fundamental, and second harmonic, third harmonic. Or we can say that any periodic signal x of t is represented as the sum of two signs having frequencies f0, 2f0 and 3f. First question, if f of t is sine omega t by 2, then this signal is periodic with time period t. Find the Fourier series. From this equation, we draw the signal. If t is 0, then sine 0 is 0. If t is 2 pi by omega, value of sine is 0. And if t is capital P by 2, sine 90 is 1. And here you can calculate the coefficient of a naught 1 by t integration 0 to t x of t dt, and integrate this and substitute the limit. When you substitute the limit and simplify this expression, you get the value of a naught is equal to 2 by 5. Similarly, a n is given by 2 by t integration 0 to t sine omega t by 2 cos n omega t dt. ये क्या हो गया तुम्हारा साइन ए और ये साइन बी. साइन ए कॉस बी इज इक्वल टू हाफ साइन ए प्लस बी प्लस साइन ए माइनस बी. इसी के सिस्टम सिंप्लीफाई करो, देन इंटीग्रेट, वी गेट माइनस कॉस ओमेगा टी बाई 2 प्लस एन ओमेगा टी डिवाइडेड बाई ओमेगा बाई 2 प्लस एन ओमेगा टी एंड सब्स्टिट्यूट द लिमिट. केवल इस टर्म की वैल्यू को पहले कैलकुलेट करो. यहाँ पे हो गया तुम्हारा 2 बाई दिस 2 बाई टी omega 1 plus 2n, and here this small t is replaced by t and t is equal to 2 pi by omega. omega omega cancel, यहाँ पे ये 2 cancel हो जाएगा और यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा, ये cos 1 plus 2 pi 2n multiplied by pi, and this is cos 1 plus 2n multiplied by pi is always minus 1 for all values of n. तो यहाँ पे इसकी वैल्यू -1 होगी, -1 +1 एंड cos जीरो की वैल्यू +1। तो यहाँ पे क्या हो गया, 2 डिवाइडेड बाई 1 plus 2n multiplied by pi. This is the value of this term, and for this term if you solve, you get the value of this one is 2 divided by 1 minus 2n pi, and if we add these two terms, we get the value of an. Value of bn is 0 because this function is even, because if we take the mirror image of x of t along y-axis, you get the same, means x of t is equal to x of minus t. So this is an even signal, and for even signal, value of bn is always 0. So if we substitute all the values in Fourier series, we get ft is equal to 2 by pi minus this. So this signal, is made of a DC value. This is fundamental period, and this is second harmonic, third harmonic, and so on. Means this signal is made of by this signal is made up of these sum of these elementary signals. Means by a DC value, sum of DC value, sum of DC value, fundamental period, first, second harmonic, third harmonic. Obtain the Fourier series. Last question. Obtain the Fourier series of waveform obtain the Fourier series of waveform shown in this figure. First, find out the equation of a straight line by this, and substitute the value of x of t in this expression. A naught is equal to 1 by t x integration 0 to t x of t dt. Substitute the value of x of t, which is calculated in this equation, and then integrate and substitute the limit. You get the value of a naught. Value of a naught is k by 2. Then calculate the value of an. An is 2 by t x of t cos n omega t dt. Substitute the value of x of t, and you get this expression, and solve this integration. You get the value of an is 0. Then find out the value of bn and solve. You get the value of bn is minus k divided by n pi, and so x of t is equal to k by 2 minus summation n is equal to 1 in infinite. Value of bn is minus k divided by n pi sine n omega t. So this triangular waveform is built up of these elementary signals, or we can say that triangular wave is built up of by DC value and fundamental sinusoidal wave as a part of first and second harmonic. This integration, in this integration, we solve this integration 2k by t square, and here this is t. First integrate this cos n omega t. You get the sine n omega t divided by n omega and multiplied by this t, minus differentiate this t with respect to t, you get 1. So integrate sine n omega t divided by nt, and this sine n omega t is integrated, and we get cos n omega t divided by n omega square. And if we substitute the limit, here we substitute the limit this, and this 0 is substituted, when this 0 is substituted in this, we get 0, and here when this 0 is substituted in this value, we get 1. So we get t sine n omega t divided by n omega plus cos n omega t divided by n omega square minus 1 by n omega square. And if we substitute the value of t, 2 pi by omega, here we get value of cos 2 pi is 1. So this term and this term is cancelled, and here sine n 2 pi is also 0. So the value of a and b. Similarly, we can calculate the value of bn, and class is over. Thank you.